Hey guys, Marstingan here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to be taking a look at the two Part 1 anniversary headliners, Broly and Gogeta, over on the Tech Vegeta from Saiyan Day, Super Saiyans team. So this was a big thing that we talked about during the lead up to Saiyan Day, the whole, I talked about it in the Summon or Skip video that I would have made for the Tech Vegeta, where we talked about the fact that both of these anniversary headliner units were going to be very nice buffs for this team, right? Broly gets the full 200% leader skill because Vegeta has Super Saiyans, and then his 30% are Pure Saiyans, Battle of Wits, or Mastered Evolution. So Broly, being a Pure Saiyan, obviously gets the full 200% leader skill. Gogeta is not on any of those three categories, so he does only get the 170. But obviously he is a very good unit as it is anyway, so he's more than capable. So we start off with an interesting rotation here. It gives us the ability to get the Gogeta floated off straight away, so he'll be able to transform on his next appearance if we want to do that. I like doing this Margin Power Absorption event to showcase some of these interesting teams because the event is a little bit longer. So we could, if we wanted to, get some more stats with this Vegeta, maybe Gogeta, maybe set up a rotation for him with the STR Vegeta or something like that. We'll see how we get on as it plays out. But Broly's on turn 2. We definitely want to keep Broly on rotation, get him transformed as soon as possible. Now, Broly's domain is interesting when it comes to running him on these other teams, because I made that video talking about his links and teams and everything. One of the things I didn't really touch on in that is we were talking about how a lot of his better link partners are these super type characters because he has all these Super Saiyan links and everything, and there's very few extreme Super Saiyan characters, right? The problem is Broly wants to use his domain to get his transformation, but then his domain causes superclass allies to take more damage because it buffs all extremes. So if you're fighting an extreme boss, now obviously if you're fighting a superclass boss, like if you're going into one of the blue zone stages with this team, then obviously he's only going to be buffing your team, or at least your extreme members of the team. Because Broly's domain, if we look at the exact effect of it, is extreme class enemies and allies attack and defense 10%, and then an additional 10% to exploding rage or movie bosses. So on this team, he's only going to be giving the buff to himself, the Vegetas, and the King Vegeta, which, I mean, is still good, right? Like, King Vegeta is a very good unit as it is anyway. Trunks is sealed. I don't want to waste my unsealing items, like, if I don't have to. So maybe I will. Well, Trunks needs to super, otherwise he gets destroyed, though, is the only problem. Because I could do this. I can end up with getting Broly and Gogeta on the same rotation, potentially. But yeah, I think I may. If I'm going to do this, I'm pretty much going to have to use the item here. Otherwise, Trunks is going to be sealed, and then potentially end up taking a lot of damage in the final slot here. Because he needs to get super attacks off in order for him to build up his damage reduction, as well as the fact that he gets the defense raises from supering in the first place. So definitely need him to be supering. Always bring the Senzu Bean item into this stage because it's good, like I say, for showcasing teams because it's a longer event. But obviously with the sealing and then the potential rotation locking in the third phase as well, it can be a little bit annoying. But still, it's, we've at least made it through the first turn. It's always the worst when you're trying to showcase like a specific unit and they're the one that gets sealed. But unfortunately in this case, while we don't really care too much about Trunks' performance overall, we obviously don't want him getting caught out at the end here. So all the better for him to actually just be able to super attack. And then Broly starts off with a 10 mil here between the STR Goku Vegeta and the Super Saiyan Trunks. He'll be picking up like Legendary Power, Super Saiyan, Prepared for Battle. My Broly is 79% 2 dupes with full level 10 links. So he definitely can put out a decent amount of attack power here, even on the first turn. And of course, remember, all of his super attacks are stacking his attack. So the more super attacks we get, the more powerful we'll be as the event goes on. So we get the hidden potential, but sadly only a normal. And then hopefully Trunks can not let us down here. I did decide to pick up a copy of Trunks. I didn't actually do any stone summons on Gogeta's banner because I pulled him from the tickets. So I picked up a copy of Trunks with the Carnival coins to make mine 90%. So he should be looking pretty decent here. He gets the full 200% leader skill from Vegeta as well, because he's on Super Saiyan's all Vegeta family. Doesn't really matter either of Vegeta's 170 leads, but he's also on Battle of Wits, so he does get the extra 30%. Right, so who hasn't actually gotten any stacks yet here? It's the My Vegeta, so we probably should keep My Vegeta on rotation. Yeah, the one at the end is sealed anyway, so we can do this. Grab the AGL orbs for King Vegeta, and then just grab this for you, I guess. You're probably not going to get a chance to... Well, actually, I don't know. This Boo does have a lot of HP. I was going to say, might not even get a chance to attack, but I think this is My Vegeta's first turn, so he still has the potential to get a couple of super attacks off here. And then King Vegeta, when he's linked up with Vegeta, like on this rotation, can do a lot of damage, right? He gets an extra buff from having a Vegeta on rotation in the first place. So I think he normally hits without any extra support. He can still get up to around 8 mil on this rotation. Yeah, 8.5 basically. Can't remember how many copies of him I have, but double check that here in a second. But yeah, unfortunately, the friend Vegeta being sealed, doing a decent little bit of damage with the crits on the normals, I guess, but that's going to be it for this turn. And then, okay, sealed Gogeta. Well, that's annoying, because it means Gogeta won't be able to actually get any extra stacks. Broly won't be able to get any extra stacks, because it's not really worth putting him in slot 1 here. So yeah, I guess we just do this. At least we don't have to use the item, because obviously there's no point unsealing Gogeta, because he's not going to get a chance to do a super attack anyway. But Gogeta, if you don't transform him straight away, you can obviously get the benefit of his 18 key super does infinitely stack his defense. So the more 18 key supers you get, the higher the defense he's going to have, and then when you transform, even though he does have that 70% chance to dodge, he'll obviously have higher base defense to back it up in case he does have to actually take any hits. But anyway, Buhan, whilst he does hit quite hard from the start, he can be attack lowered, and he doesn't have any rotation locking or anything like that, so that works out quite nicely for us here. Trunks could be in a bit of a spot if he gets hit by a big super or something, but he's at 346 currently. He gets yeah, normal raised defense for both of his supers, so we do need him to get as many supers as possible, really. We don't have any attack lowerers on this rotation either, so very much need Buhan if he's going to super attack on this turn. There we go. I was going to say to super either Vegeta or King Vegeta. King Vegeta does also give an extra buff to allies when supering as well. So obviously when there's the Vegeta on the rotation, like this rotation works out quite nicely. So Trunks is getting a decent little bit of support. We will still be relying on the RNG a little bit for him to actually get a couple of supers off here, because unfortunately Trunks, especially against an STR boss, if he does like one super and then a couple of normal attacks, there's the chances that he will get a lot of damage here. I think he's getting attacked, what, like 3 times at the end, so definitely need him to show out a little bit here. King Vegeta with the double dodge, you love to see that. I mean, you've got a 13 million attack stat here, definitely very good. But it's all about the defense. So there's an additional normal, not ideal. And another, oh, is he really going to do that? 3 additional normal attacks. Bruh. Okay, well there's a dodge. And there's another dodge. Okay, 100k he takes, because he did 3 additional normals. I mean, we would have survived, fortunately, but I guess those dodges coming in clutch. That does allow us to fuse with Vegito, though. So I mean, that does work out quite nicely for us here. I mean, this is where things are going to start to go a little bit crazy, right? We got the full transformation setup here, so let's get the Broly and the Vegeta transformation animations actually in here. So we get a full heal from Vegito fusion, then we're going to transform into Broly, full power Broly, which of course, remember, on this rotation is buffing Broly and Vegeta, as well as the fact it technically also buffs Boo, but Vegito at the end is going to be more than capable of tanking the hit. And then what's Vegeta's defense up to here? So he's at only 460. I think we could probably just afford to stack him a little bit more. So let's go ahead and do that. Grab those for you. That'll drop those STRs at the side, and then we can grab those for VEGETA. So very good rotation here. 3 very strong units. Broly transformed obviously is now going to have the ability to go a bit crazy. Thanks to VEGETA, he'll be picking up Super Saiyan and Legendary Power. So we don't have to worry about transforming VEGETA early to pick up that extra like Super Saiyan link for Broly. Broly and Transform VEGETA do link relatively well, so it is a good team setup for him in that instance as well. So yeah, we're looking pretty good here. A couple of supers for VEGETA, and then we'll see what Broly is going to be able to do. Of course, VEGETA just going to eat all of this for very little damage, and of course the fusion with VEGETA gives us the Scouter, so we know there's no super on this turn at all. 19.2 million attack stat here for Broly. And then remember, he's greatly raising on the 18 key and then raising on all of these other supers as well. So 13 million for the first additional 12 key super. And this is the thing, right? When you get Broly into a situation like this, right? He's got a slot 1 unit that can tank basically everything, protecting him. Then we've got the Scouter in play from VEGETA. Once you know you can like just put Broly in a safe spot and let him do what he does, then this is what he does. 2 13 million additionals and then a 14 million additional. All of these just from his passive from getting an Ultra Super this turn. He has a 54% chance to crit. And then there's another one. So he did 4 additional super attacks on this turn, which was what? 2 13s and 2 14s. So, what? 56 million? No, is it 54? I'm trying to do quick maths, but over 50 million attack stat worth of additional supers, and he did an almost 20 million as the first one. So we're getting close to like 70 million attack stat worth of super attacks from Broly in that one turn. And then VEGETA, I was going to say, if he crits on the counter, oh, that was so close. I was going to say, just going to kill him. So I think what we'll do here is, do we get another stack with you? What are you at? You're at 800k, so you don't actually need any more stacks. I want to see a rotation with Broly getting supported by King VEGETA. So let's get another 18 key super with Gogeta just to get an extra bit of defense stacking here for him. And then we'll transform him on his next turn, because we do want to get the active skill in here as well. But Gogeta, unfortunately, hasn't really had a lot of opportunities to get super attacks in with the way we've been floating him around. So we'll let him get an 18 key super here just to get another defense stack and then go on to the next turn. So another good rotation here. We can see that the super's in slot 1. This is what we fortunately have our secondary... I don't know, actually. I was going to say, we have our secondary rainbow orb saved here, but we could just go ahead and use the Spirit Sword, and then we could leave Vegeta, we could leave Trunks in slot 1. I was going to say, because we could use the other Senzu Bean here to just move Trunks out of slot 1. But it's been a while since I've used his thing in a video as well, so let's go ahead and do that. Now, I changed the team slightly just before, because for a longer event, I was thinking when it comes to the Super Saiyans team with VEGETA, even though he's only getting the 170 lead, I do like running Future Gohan on this team. But the thing you have to be careful of is Future Gohan has a domain that activates automatically, and it's on the 5th turn. So if, depending on your starting rotations, if you get Gohan like on turn 1 and then Broly on turn 2, Gohan's domain is, unless you, I guess you'd have to be careful, like you'd have to keep Gohan on rotation, then float him off on turn 3. Because then otherwise, then when you get Broly on turn 5, you can transform him. Because otherwise, if Gohan comes onto the rotation before Broly, and it's on like turn 5, Gohan's domain will activate, and then you can't use Broly's, which means you can't transform. So, yeah, so he's got damage received 50% for 1 turn, and guard. And then we don't get any extra defense from picking up orbs or anything, do we? But he should be able to eat that super in slot 1 with the damage reduction and the guard and everything. So do that. Broly, imagine, because Trunks charges up his active skill by the number of super attacks that you and all allies do in the turn. So like, think about the previous rotation where Broly did 5 super attacks all by himself. So we should be in a good spot here to build up this the Spirit Sword. Yeah, I still do 150, still take 150k, but that's fine. I'm not going to bother hitting the nodes here because I do want to keep this going, keep this building up. So we'll see we can do on this full rotation. We should be able to do a lot of damage here overall. Because Trunks hits decently well in Spirit Sword mode. Still getting unlucky with these additionals. There we go. We want additionals that are actually supers, not additional normals. Okay, well, we got one additional super at least. 3 additional normals and 1 additional super. Good work, Trunks. That's right. Hopefully Broly can pick up the slack a little bit here. But yeah, he doesn't infinitely stack anymore, so we'll see similar numbers to what we saw in the previous day. In fact, we should see almost the exact same numbers, even with the additionals. I didn't keep a note of exactly what they each were, but they're probably going to end up being exactly the same. So, but yeah, Broly able to put out a ton of damage. This is a very, very good team build for him. Full 200% lead. Vegeta's the perfect slot 1 unit to sit and like keep him protected from taking this big damage. And then you just go into his domain, transform into full power Broly. The fact that Vegeta and King Vegeta get the buff from it as well is obviously very, very good. But yeah, I mean, look at this man go. Just super after super, big damage. Looking forward to the harder, like slightly longer stages of the blue zone coming out as the anniversary goes on as well. So we can just see more and more of this team and Broly getting to do his thing. But we'll finally get to see Gogeta transform on the next turn as well. We still got the Scouter in play because we have a Scouter for 10 turns. I guess I have to float off the other Vegeta, really. So we'll go ahead and transform Gogeta. It's funny because we're barely going to get to use Gogeta. Like, we transform him, then we're going to end off here, and then basically just have Gogeta come back around again, and then we can actually use his active skill. Which, unfortunately, it would have been nice to have had it planned for now because of the... Actually, how many times is he attacking? Is he attacking twice before he super attacks? I think we just kill him with counters, you know. Because, yeah, he's attacking Vegeta twice before he does the super attack. Vegeta obviously doesn't do as much damage with the counters before he attacks because he gets a big attack buff. But yeah, there you go. 1 crit counter and swift kick to the face and he's gone. Now, Broly's domain, funnily enough, is I think the only one in the game where he's a transformation character where when his domain ends, he stays transformed, which is obviously actually very beneficial for us. Although this rotation is kind of awkward. I'm not sure the best way to do this now, actually. I mean, we'll go ahead and get the Spirit Sword here. We did 12 attacks, so we'll go ahead and do this. I'm not sure how much damage this will do. Hopefully we can get a crit here. We know there's no super in slot 1, so I mean, realistically, we just, I guess, put either King Vegeta in slot 1 with the AGL orb, so he's going to have big damage reduction and dodge. I'm not sure how hard Boo Tanks actually hits on his, or Boo Piccolo I should say, actually hits on his normal attacks, but King Vegeta has 200k defense. As long as you're picking up the 3 AGL orbs, he does have, was it 36% damage reduction, which isn't a huge amount. He is full dodge though. Oh, mine is rainbow, yeah, okay. Or do I just put Broly in slot 1? Broly only has the damage reduction before attacking when the domain is active. So I think the 36% damage reduction is better than having slightly higher defense, but I mean, we'll see what happens here. Broly does get very high defense after his supers, but if he doesn't end up killing Boo Piccolo, I'm not sure what will happen if he eats the super. Okay, so it's 170k, but then we got the dodge. There's no Vegeta on the rotation as well, actually, so by floating the Vegetas to kind of free up the rotations a little bit, that did affect King Vegeta a little bit, but obviously we're able to post super, he still tanks for double-digit damage, and then Broly is hopefully going to do his thing here. Getting these crits is what's really important, because in this tech phase, we want to make sure that we're taking this guy out. Now, we do have guard, remember, for full power Broly, so it doesn't matter too much that Boo Piccolo is tech, but all of these supers are building up our defense as well. So, I mean, Boo Piccolo, his super is more of like an annoying, like he often does it in slot 1, it can stun you, so it's not really like a huge damage super. So I feel like after Broly gets all of these super attacks off here, he should survive getting supered. But yeah, I mean, all of these supers, we did miss a crit. I don't know if that would have been enough. If this one gets a crit, we'll see how much her HP is going to have left. But yeah, see, we missed a crit on the last one as well. I think if both of those crit... Oh, let's go. Yeah, my Broly has, I think it's like 11 dodge or something. Because I talked about in that video I made for the hidden potential builds for the part 1 characters. Broly is a character that can make use of basically all of the hidden potential abilities. Crit, I feel like, is only really useful for his first form. And then once he transforms, he has over a 50% chance to crit anyway. So it's not like you desperately need him to be getting crits in the first phase. It does help his damage output, like pre-transformation, obviously. But yeah, I gave mine a fairly even spread of abilities. I can bring that up here. But I mean, this is going to be a good turn because we get to use the active. I might as well transform Vegeta as well, even though he's not going to get hit first. But yeah, where's Broly? I gave mine. Yeah, he's got 11. He's got 11 additional 3 crit, just so he does at least have a chance to crit in his base form, and then 12 dodge. So that dodge, I mean, we wouldn't have died, like I say, I don't think, but the dodge definitely always nice to see when you dodge a super attack. So we use Gogeta's active skill here. That gives us the target ability on him for the turn, so we're not going to take any damage, and we should be GG. Because I mean, this buff boo doesn't really have a lot of HP. He can do solid damage, but yeah, he doesn't have a lot of health. And then Gogeta obviously going to be able to get off a bunch of attacks as well. Got a lot of links active here because of the STR Vegeta. So finally get to transform Vegeta here as well. Yeah, as you can see, this is one of those just like really fun teams. Like Vegeta's a great unit, King Vegeta's a great unit, Broly and Gogeta are both very powerful, STR Vegeta is still very good in a lot of situations, the Scout are still very helpful. Trunks was kind of the only one who didn't really do a lot of crazy stuff on the run, but you know, he's still usable at least. But yeah, the Super Saiyans team with the Vegeta lead, definitely very, very fun. Obviously on the target ability turn, it's great to have a turn where you can take 0 damage, but it does mean we miss out on things like Tech Vegeta getting hit first means he gets an extra attack and the action break. Obviously Vegeta's not going to get any counters because he's not being attacked, but it is good to get that turn where you just literally cannot take any damage whatsoever, because Gogeta's just going to dodge them all. The only time that doesn't work, of course, is when you're facing an event that does actually disable dodge. Until we get UI Goku, the tech one, because Gogeta's transformation, remember, is not domain related or anything. So if you've got the tech UI Goku's domain active, dodge disabling is disabled, which then means you can time it so that you have Gogeta on that team and then use his active skill on the turn where Goku's domain is up. And then even in an event where dodge would normally be disabled, Gogeta's then targeting all the attacks onto himself and dodging all of them. So very, very good. Gogeta, definitely a fun unit. Like you can see in this one, we didn't really like prioritize Gogeta, but his abilities definitely still came in very helpful. Broly shines on this team because he gets the full 200% leader skill. Super Saiyans needs like one more premium, like really, really good, like can survive in the difficult content consistently, like support unit or something, like a character that we could use instead of Trunks, who is then also buffing up everybody else, and then this team would be like fully crazy. I mean, it's still really good. I would say this is one of the higher tier, like I would say best teams, not the best team, but it's up there for sure, right? So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. That was the Super Saiyans team with the Tech Vegeta using Broly and Gogeta. Definitely a fun team. You get to use a lot of the abilities, get to see all the cool stuff. And yeah, we managed to, obviously we use the items to get around the annoying, you know, status effects and everything. But yeah, very, very good and very fun team. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out all the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.